by Salas. And I'll just give you a little background on what our experience has been here. How many of you are here tonight? This is your first time to take a look at what we're doing. Real high. Hold your hand. Oh, wow. Lots of people. Okay. Well, everybody else, give them a big hand for it. Got it.
That's how you wave in deaf language.
I understand. I'm with you. She's signing up here, so pay no attention to the lady behind the curtain. Well, we're going to have some fun tonight, if nothing else. How's that for all of you? Right, let me give you a little background. My background was, I'm a military guy. I spent 11 years on active duty with the United States Army. I was a field trauma surgeon. In 1989, I broke my neck skydiving, and it ended my military career, ended my medical career. And I got introduced to direct sales and network marketing as a way to make some extra money after I'd gone back to work in 1991. And my first 5 years in the industry was a learning experience. I didn't know anything about sales. And you think about it, a guy comes out of college and goes straight in the military. You know, soldiers have a different, it's a different environment than medicine. It's a different environment than sales. You have a different, different directions. You have a different uniform. You have a different vocabulary. Okay? So I had a big learning curve coming from the military where I was deployed to third world countries for 11 years doing medicine out of a backpack to stepping into a room full of people. I remember my first time I stood up in front of a room full of people and I got all done and the guy that was running the show in the back says, "Oh, you did a great job, man." He said, you only irritated a few people, it's like you dropped the S word a couple of times, you said damn a couple of times. You can't say that stuff in front of me. And here I was all proud because I didn't drop any F-bombs. So I thought I was doing good. He was scolding me. So we've come a long way, baby. All right, that was 20 years ago. And my first 5 years was kind of a train wreck with some financial gain. I made some money. I made about $350,000 in the first 5 years. And back in the 90s, that was a lot of money. But I learned a lot. And then I decided to get out of the industry because the company went through some changes and I didn't like the results. I didn't like what happened to my income because of their changes. And I thought it was the whole industry was like that. So I sold that distributorship and I got out. And the next year I took a job working in medical research. And when you go from trauma medicine to medical research, it's like going from being a fireman in a high-rise on fire to watching the paint dry on grandma's living room wall. It was boring. And I didn't like it. And I'd walk into these rooms of people and they'd be like, "We're thinking." And I was like, "You can't think? You probably can't walk and chew gum either." And that's how I am. And I would just dig on them. And after a while, they didn't like me, I didn't like them, and we were separated. And I got back into network marketing with you guys just cut me off. I got back into network marketing with a gentleman who was starting up a new company, and I ended up staying with them for 15 years. Startup companies are generally not a good idea in this industry because 99.5% of them fail in their first 5 years. That company didn't fail, and it went on to, it's still in business today. But the owner of the company passed away about 3 years ago. And when he died, his kids took over. His kids had never even been to the office before. Okay, get the picture? And so it got really difficult to do what we were used to doing because everything started to change. And after I watched about 10 or 15 of my really close friends who had gone to work with us stop being able to pay their house payments, were having trouble making car payments, had kids in college, and they're like, "I need the money," because after the boss died, everything kind of, well, it's 2009, the economic chaos, he dies, the whole thing went, some of you knew me with that other company. And so in October, my wife and I looked at each other and said, "We got to give Junior the ultimatum, either fly right or we got to go away, because our friends are starving to death." And our income had dropped about $170,000, $180,000, almost $200,000 that year. But we were still making enough money to live. What I was worried about was all my friends on the team. Because I had committed to them, "Come with me, I'll help you make money." And for 15 years we did, and for that last 2 years they didn't. And so it got to a point where I was staying out of loyalty. Some of you know people that they're loyal to a fault. That was me. My wife used to say all the time, she goes, yeah, you're loyal as a dog to the point where you'll stay when that building's on fire. You know, she goes, learn when to jump out. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to leave. And so we stayed too long. And in October, we met Nick Sarnicola, the founder of this company. And him and Ashley are awesome people, and you're going to see them on this video here in a minute. Excuse me. I fell in love with the concepts. I fell in love with Nick's servant-driven leadership. I fell in love with the idea that he was concerned about all of the people more than he was concerned about the company's profit. Now, there's got to be a balance there, obviously, otherwise the company goes out of business and then nobody gets help. So there's a balance there. Nick, Blake, and Ryan are the balance. They're different. Nick is like a Rain Man. He's so smart, but he has a personality, which is odd. I mean, how many times have you ever met somebody who's really, really smart and they have a personality too? But it usually happens, does it? And so I call Nick the Rain Man with a personality. Blake is a genius. He's a genius in marketing. That's his background. He was an Ivy League college graduate in 3 years, graduated cum laude out of his class, and he was 21 years old. Another genius. And then Ryan, who's the #1 most sought after CEO in the world today. Certainly the most talked about CEO on Wall Street. And he's a New York Times best-selling author and a Forbes magazine contributing editor. This guy's very bright in the area of running the company. So you got Nick in charge of running the field, Blake in charge of marketing, and Ryan in charge of making sure the warehouse has plenty of product and that the trucks are flowing and products shipping and doing all the day-to-day stuff. So that's the trio, the triad of perfection of what we're experiencing. Now, in October we made the decision. In December we finally figured out how to resign and get out of the commitments from that other company. In January 2nd, we started with our first 90-day challenge. And how many of you knew me before this? Any of you? Okay, a couple of you. I was a little pudgy. I was for the last 6 years, I went vegetarian lifestyle, vegan lifestyle. I was trying to figure out how to get my cholesterol down. I'm 55 years old. My cholesterol was going through the roof. My triglycerides were high. My blood pressure was creeping up. I was overweight. My skin looked like it was kind of gray. My wife used to look at me and go, "You don't look too hot." And I go, "I feel great." And she goes, "Yeah, okay." And I was the pudgy vegan, okay? And nothing seemed to work. I was working out. I was trying to run. Trying to run when you're heavy, it's hard. So nothing was working. I was in this spiral. And then I meet Nick, and he says, "There, drink the shake." And I drank the shakes, and in 90 days, my cholesterol dropped 80 points. My triglycerides went down. My blood pressure went down. I lost 34 pounds. I took 4.5 inches off of the midsection. And I started feeling good again. I started drinking their energy drinks. I was working out. I was running 4 or 5 miles at a time instead of 4 or 5 blocks. A year ago, I used to get up, jump out of bed, run around the block 3 or 4 times, and kick the block back under the bed. And I was wore out. Now I get up and I run 6 or 7 miles, and I come back and eat breakfast, right? So it's an amazing phenomenon of what changes in your life when you change your body. You change your body by what you put in it. You become what you eat. You become who you hang around, and you become what you eat. And the #1 issue in weight loss is simply this. And weight loss isn't the only problem in America, but it's the #1 health problem in America today. 60% of all Americans are overweight. 33% of them are clinically obese. That's a problem. And why? McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Wendy's, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Do I need to keep going? That's why. Okay? If you guys were eating out of the garden and homemade stuff like Grandma and Grandpa used to do, none of us would be heavy, but we're all heavy because of our fast food. Got to get it quick. Got to drive through, and it better be good and hot, and it's going to be full of fat, grams, and calories, and you're going to die because you eat it. Right? And so I said, I got to change this. So I drank 2 shakes a day for 90 days, completely changed my whole life. And when we get the computer working, are we ready?
Yes, sir.
We're going to watch this video, and after the video's over, I'm going to show you a before and after picture of me. And you'll go, "Oh my God, look at that!" And it looks like I worked out and lifted weights and did all. I didn't. All I did was the same exercise I was doing before: walking, a little jogging, sit-ups and push-ups. And when I started, I was doing 10 of each, and now I'm doing hundreds. Okay, and the difference was what I ate in between. It was the shakes, 2 shakes a day. The other side of the coin is fitness and wellness. And for those of you that don't have a weight problem, we all hate I hate them skinny guys. You know, I just want to slap them. Young, energetic, skinny, good looking. Dang, I want to hit them, right? No, what we're going to say to you is we have kits for that too. We do fit kits. We have MMA fighters, pro wrestlers, pro football players, basketball players, baseball players, all using our fit kits. Boxers, Roy Jones Jr. is on the program, Hulk Hogan's in the program. Fitness models, some of the top female fitness models in the world are part of Visalis and our ambassadors in our program today. So there's something here for everybody. Fit, and what I always tell people is this program's for your friends who like to work out and for your friends who need to work out. Right? Simply said, very tactful. And I get an A+ for that because 6 years ago, it wouldn't have come out that way. Let's do the video.